think it's been just one of the best things that we've done so far is having that interaction. And so I hope that continues, and that whether the rotation or somebody, but that is really good to have somebody there. And
Are you saying you don't like this one? You want another one?
yes,
She said, I thought so.
we can.
Yeah. Oh, you did.
We're a bunch of old fogies, so we can put up with Debbie and it's all those. So, but this has been really. I've been on the commission now for a year and a half, and I have really enjoyed every minute that I've spent on it. The things that we've done. I'm really proud that we got that age-friendly status back here in December. And it's really, we're moving the city forward. We're contributing our part of it. I think that the Parks and Recreation Department as a whole is really well run. We're doing a great job. And the Senior Advisory Commission is really having an impact on the senior center and the senior lifestyle. And I'm really proud of that. So thank you to the City Council and to the Parks and Recreation Department for supporting us.
Sam?
Well, that was a very eloquent statement. And I've been on the commission for a while, and I'm on the brain health subcommittee. So I've been studying issues of cognition and brain health. And I've subscribed to the neurological news. And so I get this information updated, and I share it with the commission. And it's very, very valuable information that needs to be widely available. And I've been very impressed with a group, mindfulness meditation. Mm-hmm. It's very, very helpful, and I don't take a chance to talk where I don't mention it, because to me, it's very important, and I just would like it, more widespread. So, yes, I've really enjoyed my tenure on the commission, and I've really learned a lot, and I appreciate the complexity of running a city, and it's kind of overwhelming, all the complexities of everything that goes on in the city. So it's been very educational.
Sam, could you tell us about what is mindfulness meditation?
Mindfulness meditation is a way of becoming totally centered, and our brain is we're kind of controlled by our thoughts, and in mindfulness meditation is a way to control your thoughts. So you focus on the immediate time when you're here, and your mind goes into the past or into the future or worries about something that you're worried about, but you're actually sitting and you're very comfortable and you're all right. So those thoughts can be studied at distance. So
is this type of meditation offered at the senior center? Or are you looking to have it offered at the senior center?
There is a group. We have a volunteer from the Process Therapy Institute, and he's a very, very capable person, and it's just a wonderful thing to do. I hope everybody will try it.
Me too.
For free.
May I add something?
Yes, yeah.
Kaiser on their intense pain program, I
Mhm.
just was in a class on Monday, not the intense, but the educational. They are using that to retrain the brain. I mean, what Sam is
Makes
talking
sense,
about
yeah.
is really big and new and important.
Yeah, it's very fascinating. Thank you. Nancy?
Well, everybody has said most everything. But I want to I want to thank all of you and recognize all that you have provided for the senior center, for the seniors in the community. I think it's really, we're very fortunate in this city to have the facilities and the opportunities, the classes, all of those things that are provided in the city, as well as all the other things that Parks and Rec is doing to enhance all the parks. So I'm grateful that you see it as valuable to fund those things. I think they're very important, and they certainly go along with our goal of having an age-friendly city, because age-friendly city is, in my view, and I think in general, not just something that makes sure that people can use their wheelchairs or that kind of thing, but that all ages can use parks, and all ages can use crosswalks, and all of those things. So I thank you all, and I especially am grateful that, as it's already been mentioned, that you have someone coming to our meeting. It's really helpful, and I learn something every time when a council person comes and gets engaged with us and actually contributes, and that's really very, very valuable to us. So thank you.
Thanks. Maybe we can hear for those who have gone to these meetings. I know Debbie, you've gone, and
I've been to
Teresa.
a few, yeah.
Kathy, Dominic, have you gone? I've never been either, so.
They're, I think my engagement started with the age-friendly cities. I think there was a request somewhere along the line, and then I engaged in that. So that was a lot of fun getting that done, because it was Sam. It took like 2 years to really get that established, but it was really helpful. And some of the things were already in our city that were already established as senior and age-friendly. So we have a lot more work to do, but we're gonna have fun. But Sam, I came up with something when you brought up the mind thing. What about like senior mind games? Like a competition where we have like a brain game kind of a thing, where we have a competition with everybody, and then that might be a place to introduce some of these things to make you think better, or change your thinking, or something on that line for especially people my age, the baby boomers. So yeah, and you slow down in some learning abilities, but at the same time, you can, like you said, retrain the brain to do what you need to do. So, but it's been a pleasure coming to your meetings, because I learned so much about some of the things that you are looking for, help that you need. I think the last thing was something about the computer rooms. There was no dividers, there was no privacy or something like that. So that was important to you to sit in that room and not have somebody looking at you and what you're looking at. So I think that was one of the things. And then I did learn that when my treadmill was down, that I would have to sign up for the treadmill, but I could only do 30 minutes at a time, not an hour. So I was like, oh, whoa, okay, I didn't know that. So there's restrictions in that little gym there that you got. So anyway, that was very interesting. You guys kind of know everything that goes on in that building, so. But I appreciate it. I appreciate what you do. I appreciate everything, the conversations that we have, and some of the things we can help you do. And I want another wellness fair. I'm looking for the wellness fair.
Is that happening again
Yes.
this
Yes, it
year?
is.
Yes.
And what's the date of that? May?
May 18th.
It was really great last year, and that was your first one.
This one will be better.
Okay, great.
Nice.
Well, Grant was the chair.
Did you order a little bit better weather than we had? Wasn't it like,
It
was it windy? Was it hot? Or
Hot.
it was
Hot.
super hot day, right? Yeah.
I thought you
I
were in
remember
charge
that.
of the weather.
She brought the coldness with her.
It was hot, like
I know,
super
it
hot
was
that
really
day,
hot.
but people really appreciated it.
It was nice.
Teresa, you wanna?
So I had the pleasure of attending last week for the senior commission meeting. One of the things, and I noticed that it's kind of reflected in the minutes the work plan for the youth commission. I talked about that the youth commission is very interested in sponsoring some kind of intergenerational activity, which I think would be great. And so I noticed that they included that in their work plan, so they're very interested. So I really hope that we can have more of those types of things. And I'm, you know, I've always been very interested in, as we look at having new housing, you know, having intergenerational. And I've had some people tell me that oftentimes seniors prefer to, you know, predominantly live with other seniors. But so I think maybe having these opportunities, we can all learn from each other. You know, the learning always goes both ways. And so there was, you know, I've also heard some of the concerns about whether, like, for the tax preparation, whether there's proper privacy, and whether I know we did get some new PCs and I think some new software and stuff. So it sounds like there's almost like trying to focus on what it is you're going to really take on with the resources that you have. That's always a challenge. And because there's so many needs, and there was a lot of discussion about elder fraud or the ongoing issues related to some elder abuse. And I think that those are, you know, really important issues that not just for the senior center and the senior commission, but other departments of the city to know how we can support our senior community so that they're not victimized unfairly. So,
Dominic, do you have something to say?
I just think the two jewels of a community are your youth and your elderly, and whatever I can do and we can do to support you, to connect you more with our youth, is something I'm very excited about. So I'd love for some of you to comment on how we can help. I think that's something we can do more synergistically.
Oh, go ahead, just jump on in.
When I was buying furniture, a chair, I met a woman starting a new foundation, nonprofit, to have kids help seniors. And I know that there's some of that out there. So besides the Youth Commission reaching out to us, which Jennifer had told us about, and I want to be on, I got this 10-year-old over here, that I think there are probably other nonprofits like that. So I think it's just a matter of putting it together.
Has there ever been discussion by staff of just once a year having the Youth Commission and Senior Commission have a meeting together? Seems pretty obvious.
I'll go ahead and answer that. That was brought forth to us in our last meeting.
Oh, good.
And the commission, the senior commission, commissioners have agreed that we would love to enter into a mutual discussion and meet with the youth commission. So we're going to, I don't know if partner is the right word, but staff will be coordinating that so that we can both, all of us can meet together at some location at some point early in 2018.
Have to be a little later than 10 a.m., I'm sure, for that.
and not on a school day. Yeah, we don't want them missing school. So in front of you, you have the 2016, 2017 accomplishments. So I'm not going to go ahead and read them to you. As a commission, we feel that this represents the things that we have accomplished this year. 2018 is going to be a big year for us.
I think
Yes.
we're going to get those in a minute. Is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. 2018, 17-18, we talked about plans and what we'd like to see in 2018 happen. Again, we are having the health fair. Grant has volunteered to be a part of that organizational, that group to work with the different departments in the city and our staff assigned to us to bring forth that. We've changed it from a Saturday to a Friday, and we've shortened it by an hour. So this was based on the comments that came back after the survey that Kim behind me, and I also want to thank Kim for all her assistance to us. She's great.
How about Jim? He's right next to her.
Yes.
You too, Jim.
Jennifer, Kim do an outstanding job for the commission in getting us information. We're going to look at how do we transfer the information. Your commissioners are very research-oriented. They do their homework. They get information. Without Sam, we would have never made it to age-friendly. So you can see how a small idea or something that Sam read, and that's where it was born from and what it grew into. And now the city of Santa Clara is now recognized. So just a small idea that came to what it is today. We're also looking at, we get a lot of information. So what information do we want to share with other seniors? Obviously, the senior center is part of the city, but we are the commission, so we represent the seniors, all the seniors in Santa Clara, not just what's happening at the senior center. So we talked about this in the last meeting, and I think Teresa will kind of recall this. We want to share some of the ideas, such as Sam's done some research on this mindfulness. Maybe we get a little article in the paper that comes out from the nursing staff, or we want to be able to find a way to pass on the information. And so we're working on that. We're also working on scheduling quarterly topics that will probably be held in the senior center. I don't know, I guess maybe they could be in the library too, but other places. But purposely, we're looking at the senior center and bringing somebody in to talk about fraud and tips. And so we're a busy commission, and anything that you would bring to us that you would want us to look at or comment on, we'll be happy to do that. You'll also notice that the senior needs assessment, the findings should be put together in January, so that'll be just more information that will help us determine which direction we want to go and what we want to add to our current plans. So if any of my commissioners have anything else to add.
Councilwoman Mahan has joined us as well. Okay. I just want to say, I know in our city, we're working on our communications and outreach plan for the city as a whole. So I want to make sure that that's connected with your commission. So whatever information you want to get out to the community, you can give to our city manager's office, and they can send it out in all the different ways that people communicate now, which is so different. And there's so many with social media and everything else. Even a lot of seniors are on social media. So even snail mail and everything. So make sure you use that. Also, I'm wondering, because as our population increases, and I know we've talked about over the years, the addition of possibly a senior center or some kind of senior facility in North Santa Clara, as the population is increasing out there. I don't know if you've had any discussions about that, or expanding the senior services throughout the city, not just North Santa Clara, but throughout the city.
As a commission, we have not had any direct conversation, but we would be happy to put that on our agenda, I'm sure, and have some discussion. Probably after the results of the assessment comes out.
That would make sense.
Right,
yeah.
And that would be something that I think more of the Parks and Recs would be looking at, and if they bring that to us, we'll be happy to talk about it.
Right, as baby boomers are getting older and older, I mean, it's really, the population is expanding here in Santa Clara. One other thing, the council just approved a project for Summerhill Development, which was a senior project on the El Camino in front of the Target Center. And as a part of that project, there's a community room that was offered to the city to be, I think, programmed and scheduled by Summerhill, if I remember correctly.
I think their leasing office will do it.
Or their leasing office, but it's going to be available to the city and the public. And was it like 1,500 square feet or 2,000 square feet?
It was over 2,000.
Over 2,000 square feet. So it's a sizable room in front of the Target Center. It'll be a couple of years from now, but I'm hoping that is a senior development that you have that on your radar. To be used for activities in the area, which is fairly close to the senior center. But I know sometimes we approve these things and we have rooms or opportunities available, and if we don't memorialize them somewhere, we forget about them. Like the Sun Campus and the Agnew facility, and some of the things that we have available. So I just wanted to mention that. Yes, go ahead.
One of the things things that I've always wondered about, and I keep hearing from other seniors, is the hours that the senior center is available. And I, for one, would like to go on Saturday afternoon or Sunday or in the evening, and I'm wondering if it's possible to get more use out of the center, so more people could use it, because folks that are 55 work probably and would like myself, not that I'm 55, but that I'd like to come at 7 o'clock in the evening, or why is it closed on Friday night, and why is it closed on Saturday afternoon? Because it seems like it should be open all the time. And it seems like, and I don't, I have no knowledge whatsoever of any of the guidelines for why it's open or not. But it seems to many people who bring this up, it's up to the staff. It's the senior center is run for the staff, and it's not for the people who go there. For example, there's many people upset about the pool being closed for 3 weeks, December 15th through the beginning of January. And that was, something was mentioned to me by several people, that it's closed. And why does it have to be closed for 3 weeks? It doesn't take 3 weeks to clean a pool. And it should not be closed. It's closed way too much. And it should be open later, should be open all day Saturday, and maybe even Sunday. I mean, there's no reason why we can't have it open every day. And I don't think it's because of funding, or maybe there'd be volunteers to keep the senior center open, but it's heartbreaking for a lot of people. They can't go for 3 weeks during Christmas and see their friends, have lunch, do the crafts that they do that was so wonderfully displayed at the craft fair, because it's closed. It's all shut down. I think it should be open all the time, and I can't tell you how upset people are that the pool is closed for 3 weeks. They're just livid.
I don't know why the pool's closed.
No,
I'm
and
sure
nobody
there's a
knows,
good reason.
because it just
I
says.
don't know.
Because it's taken away all the time from the seniors at the drop of a hat, it seems.
Well, I would recommend that you analyze what is happening now and make a recommendation to the council. I mean, everything is budget-driven, staff-driven, that's a popular facility, and I can see it doing nothing but getting more popular as
Yeah.
more people need. It's almost a
Now,
24/7
people have offered to
building.
even volunteer. We have people that are senior lifeguards, and we have people that are capable of doing things that we don't have to be paid to run the senior center at night or on the weekends or whatever.
So
A lot of people would love to
That might
be
be a lot,
involved.
I would think, and I'd have to defer the city attorney and director to share, but I would think that would be a real liability issue not to have any staff there
Well,
if they were going to be,
this
because
is
I
suggestion.
myself, I still kind of have concerns, and I have for a long time about, say, the workout room, that I don't think that there's a staff person there. I mean, I know the constraints on the budget and all that, but I still worry that there's not a staff person that's there kind of overseeing all the use of that equipment. And I know, we've heard of well-known people who have died because they've fallen like from a treadmill or something, and seriously hurt themselves. So I know that there's a lot of issues about that, but I certainly hear, Carolyn, and I know that a few years ago, when the economy started to recover and we got the senior and youth fee from the stadium, I know that Julio Fuentes, who was our city manager at the time, I remember having that conversation with him, and we said, hey, the first things that we ought to do is restore hours at the senior center, the youth center, and the library. And so he said, let's use the fee for that. And I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah,
But
I remember.
I have heard similar things, that the young seniors who are maybe still working, that it does restrict a lot when they are able to use the center. But I don't know if Director Teixeira wants to, or Jennifer would like to say anything about that. If it's also overuse of the concerns of, but I know a lot of things always come down to money, unfortunately.
Well, oftentimes there are 4 or 5 lifeguards. I mean, and I don't know what the ratio of lifeguards to participants are, but sometimes there's more lifeguards than people.
Jim,
And
did
it
you want to
seems
say
as-
something about this? Or otherwise, I'd say we refer it to the city manager's office to bring it back to us. Jim?
Yeah, hopefully everybody can hear me standing here. If you can't, just raise your hand and I'll speak louder. So on some of the thoughts that were just raised, we have over 300 volunteers that are seniors, that have, in the last year, given over 20,000 hours of service. So we are currently plugging in and utilizing seniors to make sure that the facility is fully staffed. As you can imagine, we often do ratios of number of staff, to, whether it's full-time, part-time, as needed, as well as volunteers, to the number of persons that are actually using the center. So we try to keep that so that it does mitigate some of the issues of liability and those things. It's an extremely popular center, so it is very well used. And so whenever you have a facility that is as well used as our senior center is, you actually need the time for the maintenance. So there are some, thoughts that, well, it should always be open all the time. When you have facilities that are open quite a few hours, it actually does need the maintenance that is required. So for instance, on the pools, we often use the winter time, and often over the holidays when our numbers do decline at the senior center, hard to believe, but they do go down. We use that time, we do close the pool and we do maintenance. There's things like changing out the lights in the pool. We can't just have people in there, it is electrical, and sometimes our guys suit up in scuba gear and change out lights and those things. Pumps, filters, all of that requires additional time. So we have 11 pools at 5 different sites. We have 3 at the senior center. So when we're not doing the maintenance at the other facilities, then we are doing them there. So that's the time of the year that we actually program our staff to do the maintenance at the senior center. As far as after the recession, yes, we did add the most utilized hours back, so that we are staffing the senior center at the times that most people are using the facility. Could we be open additional hours? Yes. Are there cost implications to that? Yes, there are. So I think that, did that answer?
Is there any chance of changing that? Is there any way that we could look at a program to change that?
I think
so many people want to have more
Yeah, I
hours
think
there.
the
Yeah.
mayor
We really want to
indicated.
change it.
Right, the mayor indicated that she would like the Senior Advisory Commission.
Commission
probably
to take a
staff,
look at it,
take a
as
look
well
at
as
that.
a referral to the city manager's
Right.
office.
The survey also, not to cut in on you, but the senior survey, the other part which wasn't mentioned is the senior survey needs assessment also is the gap analysis. So the second part of that is to figure out what then is needed. If we're providing these services, what then may be needed in addition to supplement what we're currently doing.
And also another suggestion that I have perhaps is a more, I better look at the scheduling. For example, this summer we had kids coming into the pool. The seniors center had children at the pool. And they were there for classes. And the senior, let's see, it was something so that the pool closes at 6:30. The building closes at 7. So the class ended at 5:45. So if you get off work at 5 o'clock and you want to come swim for an hour or so, you had 45 minutes because the kids were there. And this was on 2 days a week. And I, for one, really fail to, I can't imagine why the seniors cannot swim or use the pool because we have children there. When we have 11 other pools where they could use, and if one child is there, you can't go into the pool. You have to just sit and wait. And you sit there and wait and watch the kids swim around. You just sit there and wait until they, Then they were running around the locker rooms, running around because children brought their families and children brought their siblings, and they were in the showers and opening the curtains and all that stuff.
Being children, yeah.
One of the things about the senior center is that it was also designed and built for therapeutic recreation. Our therapeutic recreation program is housed at the senior center. So one of the programs that we do have there, several nights of the week as well as during days. So our special needs folks do utilize the senior center. So I think that might be what she was mentioning.
Walter?
Yeah, I just want to thank you, Mayor. I just want to echo what Jim is saying. I think the needs assessment is really important to understand where we have the gaps. Once we understand those gaps, then we see, as part of the budget process, we can see where we can potentially provide additional funding as a recommendation to the mayor and city council. But as you know, your needs are stacking up against many needs across the city, and that's what we'd have to evaluate as a recommendation to the council.
Okay, thank you. So I think we have a two-pronged approach. We'll refer to the city manager's office and then look for a recommendation from your commission. Alma?
Yes, I just wanted to say that one way of proceeding could be for the commission, when we get the results back from the senior needs assessment, one of the categories or one of the issues was to break down the survey respondents by age and to see if what Carolyn is pointing out, the group that is still working in the paid labor force, they might be the ones who would like to come on Sundays. So hopefully we'll get the data from that and then be able to match needs with what is available.
Yeah, it's a
As the
great idea.
population changes and we get different configurations of those different age groups. Because I know the trips that I've been on, many of the senior trips, they're during the day, so I'm able, people who are, do I have to keep pressing this now?
No,
People
you
who
don't.
are, sorry, people who take the trips, either it's their day off from work or they're retired. And so some people have said, my friend can't come because it's not a Saturday or Sunday. So those are, I think, some of the things that the needs assessment is going to show us, where there are gaps and how we can meet resources that we do have to deal with some of those gaps.
Who's doing your needs assessment?
The city one.
Applied survey research.
Yes.
What's that?
Applied survey research is doing the data analysis from
Okay.
the data that we got back from the respondents. And so the commission is slated to look at the key findings of that at their January meeting,
Okay.
so that we can then have a community partnership meeting following that to help us identify those gaps and do what assistant manager suggested we do.
Okay.
So that was part of the plan.
We as the chair, I will work with Kim and with Jennifer to get those kinds of things on the agenda so that we can have a good discussion and make some recommendations if we decide that that's where we would like to go as a commission. But we also understand that we do not, as the commission, we do not run the senior center. Certain things that go on at the senior center need to be sent through the protocol. So I just wanted to add that. I think the information given is good for the council just to be aware what the dialogue is going on, but we will go ahead and try to get some backup data to support that for you.
Okay. Wanda?
I understand that it's budget and it's always about the money, and the money has some limitation. However, I hope we will remember that the seniors, if they aren't using their bodies, those that are using it in the pool for a long period of time, they hurt, physically hurt. And so there is that, and the ones who exercise too, but we're focusing on the pool. I think it's wonderful to use the facility as much as we can within the money, and we've expanded nicely when money came back, so that when you talk about the other building that we have, that at the same time we look at maybe having some other locations as well, that if we utilize what we have to the max, that will really help.
And I agree, swimming's a tremendous way to exercise in a low impact.
People in the pool hurt for the most part. That's,
Right.
the times I went through a session of it.
So when it's closed, they really miss it.
Yeah, they do.
And they need it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no, thank you for bringing all of that to our attention as well. Anyone? Kathy? Patty? Anybody? Yeah? Kathy?
I went to one meeting. I didn't go back, so I don't know. Maybe you didn't want me to come back. I'm not sure. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, I actually enjoyed the meeting that I attended, and I learned a lot. And this is before you were on the advisory board, Carolyn. But no, it was actually when you were in the process of putting the
the fair together. And so, and I remember I was very nervous going in there because I really didn't know any of you, but you asked some great questions and I got to answer them. And then when I left, I felt like, hey, wow, I do know some things. So that was very enlightening for me and helpful. But I hope that I get back on the schedule somehow.
rotation.
It's a rotation,
Yeah,
okay.
so if somebody bumps out and doesn't want to go, then
Well, I didn't bump out because I
Okay.
didn't
No,
want to
you're on
go, so,
rotation.
so anyway. Anyway, so I look forward to seeing you again. One thing I did want to suggest, or ask, I should say, because not everybody is on social media. Do you put anything in the quarterly paper? Is there anything that's about upcoming events or things that have happened, or to let those people that are in the community that aren't on social media to know what's going on at the senior center? Do you do submit something?
Do a monthly newsletter at the senior center.
Okay.
And so we do paper copies as well as it is available online. We also provide mailings.
Okay.
So we know that there are some seniors that aren't able to get to the senior center as much as they would like. And so they're able to sign up for a mailing list. Okay. And so once a month we mail out flyers and newsletters and things that are going on that month at the facility to those people in their homes.
Okay, and then how do you add names to that list, or?
Inside Santa Clara?
Yes, that's
Yes.
the one I'm thinking of, yeah. Oh, there is something put in
Yes,
that?
the
Good.
Parks and Recreation Department. We also submit information about the whole department, senior center,
Good.
whatever is going on during that quarter to the Inside Santa Clara.
Great, okay, thanks, Jennifer.
Because you are eligible.
Oh, sure. Oh, one more thing. Sorry, I did attend the Montague Park visit, to, determine, what people wanted to see in the park and the changes. And one of the things that was mentioned was, more classes for seniors. And so I was really glad to see that. I mean, there was a whole spectrum of requests that people would like to see. So, and I have a feeling that, knowing that that's out there, that there will be a way to get that implemented up in the north side, and the folks up at Montague would like to see that for sure.
And since we met last, we did a placemaking exercise at the senior center. And I was on the team that went to the senior center. And a lot of ideas emerged from that, and I know we're going to reinvigorate that again. We're giving our new city management team a little time to get their feet wet here in the city before throwing that back on them again. But one of the things we talked about during the placemaking session at the senior center area was maybe some opportunities in the future of either expanding the senior center there, putting some kind of outdoor cafe that opened onto the park, something, taking advantage of the beautiful setting there between the park and the senior center, and really doing something a little more user-friendly to the building. I mean, that did come out of some of our discussions, and I do want to follow up on that, because I think that there are so many people that use the indoor space there, but is there a way we can expand it to use the outdoor with the indoor space for the seniors, especially with the nice weather, during the nice weather times. So I wanted to throw that out as well. And then ask you, is there any other things that you would like us to be aware of, or that you need help on for either your health fair or whatever, we can do, as a city council to support you in your services to the seniors?
I would just like to see the council members continue to attend our meetings. We've just found it invaluable to us, because we feel that they get to hear us, and then we get to hear them. So it's been a real give and take of information that's, I think, kind of guided us this past year, or at least during my term here. And I found that very helpful. So I appreciate that. We'd like to see that continue.
And your meetings are in the morning, right? Aren't they?
Fourth Monday of the month, and we do not meet in December.
Meet at the senior center, right?
At the senior
In the
center.
event people would like to attend from the
Oh,
members of the
yes.
public?
Yes, we would.
So fourth
we
Monday at 10
try.
a.m. at the senior center?
Mm-hmm, yes. And May is the only month that it gets moved. It gets moved, I think, to the third Monday. So, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
I think you guys are doing a great job for us. And it's so exciting as a volunteer, and I know everyone feels that we feel like we're making a difference. And I know it's because you let us and you're participating too. So thank you.
Thanks. Thank you for those comments.
Yes, I want to say thank you too, because so many people have been complaining about the pool hours, and it's not enough time for such a long time. And I think that we can be a voice, for them. So that we know
yes,
why
agreed.
we're left out, or why we don't have enough time, or why this, that, and the other thing, especially with the pool and the scheduling of some of the classes. And most of it's about the pool, I think. It just seems like we have such a giant facility, and I don't think we use it enough.
Well, we'll look at how we can maximize the utilization of the property, but still respecting the maintenance of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But knowing that so many people rely on that
Yeah, they
for
really
health
do.
and wellness
It's
and
absolutely,
yeah.
100%, because if you're arthritic or,
right, we
all
share
that.
your concern. Thank
Yeah.
you for bringing it to our attention, because if you don't bring it to our attention,
and thank you for
we don't know everything.
knowing, for listening.
So thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate that, and now it's on our radar. Thank you. Anyone else? Pat?
Just think that this list of accomplishments is pretty impressive.
Yep.
What you all have done. And I'm going to give this piece of paper to Jennifer Yamaguma, our PR lady, so that maybe we can get some acknowledgement of this work that's been done. Please keep up the good work, and maybe we can get some exposure to what you have done.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a team effort.
But as Councilmember Colstead said, you're a very hardworking commission. You just get down and get the work done, and we appreciate that. We're really proud of you, and we know you're making such a difference in the city with all your ideas, and especially your new ideas too. So anyone else?
Yeah. I was just going to add one more thing, Mayor. I remember the last time there was an opening, and Carolyn, you applied, but one thing that I found very impressive, and I'm sure the rest of the council and the mayor did too, was the amount of applicants that applied for the position. And so that's really a testament to the great job that you all are doing, and you are getting that information out there to the community that people want to participate and be a part of it. So I think that's a big credit to you all. So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And Mayor, if it may jump in, through the city manager's blog, which you have hopefully signed up for already, the city manager issued a blog. You can sign up for an email notification. She will definitely share with the community all the accomplishments you have done. Park and Rec staff always forwards information to us. We'll make sure it gets published.
Thank you.
Yeah, and she puts that out weekly, right?
It's
to
a
the
weekly
public?
blog, that's correct.
Weekly blog to the public, so any information you want out there can end up on her blog. So it's really important to communicate and get the information out and let our community know what services are available, because there's a lot of people in need out there, a lot of seniors in need, and you're really helping them, and at least sending them down the right path. So thank you all for coming this evening, and thank you for participating, and thank you for all your hard work on behalf of Santa Clara. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. You know,
Well, I guess together, except for you.
Mayor Gilmore, confirming a quorum.
Okay. Announcement of closed session. We have 4
see you again,
items.
Grant.
Any
You know
public
something,
comment regarding closed session? Seeing none, we are going to recess to closed session. Thank you.